I can't believe this is real. As when I'm speaking, making this video, even when it's uploaded, I still can't believe it's real. James Franklin. What are you thinking? I don't know if he has a PR team or whatnot, or who's advising him, or maybe he just needs some common sense. This is the worst thing you could do. You know what you need to do? Shut your mouth. Well, I didn't expect to be making this video. I'm sure many of you, if you've been watching the channel for a little bit, you've picked up on things. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesdays, those are extremely busy days on the channel. We got 3 uploads more times than not, and that's when we're covering all the previews, the prediction. We're talking about what happened in the most recent weekend, and there's a lot of news going on. Thursdays and Fridays, they tend to die down a little bit, slow down until the up-and-coming games on Saturday. With that being said, I have all the topics, video ideas that we're going to talk about on Monday and Tuesday already done by Sunday night. And I can tell you right now, this one was not one of those. But I have to delay some of the videos you're going to see either later tonight or tomorrow because we have got to talk about this right now. I can't believe, it's still hard for me to fathom that James Franklin just did this. It was and still is so baffling to me. It's hard to find words. It's just, I don't know. Maybe some of y'all had the same reaction to me. I'm speechless. We'll get to what he said in just a second. First things first, let's go over the obvious. Number one, Penn State is irrelevant. Spam it up in the comment section. Y'all eventually learn, if you don't want to believe Matt, one day Penn State under Franklin is irrelevant. Number two, we saw it transpire this most recent weekend. I'm not going to harp on the game too much. It is what it is. You lost to UCLA by 24.5-point favorites. You lost to one of the worst teams in all of Power 4. You lost to a team who was 0-4. But here's another fun fact for you. You lost to a team who not only hasn't won a game this year, they haven't even led in a game up until this point. And they dominated you from start to finish. Yeah, sure, you try to come back at the end, but dang, when you're down 20 at half, the game's pretty much over. You're going to need a miraculous comeback to come back, and you didn't have that because your defense was awful. They were booty Jews. Look, I'm not going to sit up here and just rag on Penn State for losing the game. It is what it is. It's whatever. It's in the past. You've seen plenty of people do that by now. You don't need me to sit up here and tell you, oh, it's a terrible loss. You know that. But here's what caught my attention. After the game, James Franklin, although he did take responsibility, he was still deflecting, coming up with excuses, talking about, well, you know, the travel, it's a long travel, and the players, we've been tired, we've been banged up a little bit, we weren't ready to go. I understand the argument of, well, you had to travel from Penn State to UCLA, it's a far travel, it's a far Big Ten game. Sure, whatever. But to sit up here and be like, oh, well, we're tired. What do you mean you're tired? There's only 12 games a year in the regular season. If you can't get hyped up for any game, you got a problem with the coaching staff and internally. This isn't on the players. As a head coach, you know what your main job is? To be a motivational speaker. That's it. To hype up these players. That is your main job. You're the captain of the ship, and I think a great example and analogy is Gru off of Despicable Me. You have to convince your minions to go to war for you like they do in that movie. Think about Despicable Me. I'm sure many of you have seen that movie. The minions, they didn't even question if Gru had a great idea or bad idea. They're just like, yeah, banana, and they're just going at it. They don't even care because they trust Gru, their leader, that much. I know it's a kid's movie and whatnot, but seriously, think about it. He says, tonight, we're going to steal the moon. And they're like, ah! Even though it's dang near impossible to steal the moon, they don't care. You got to have a head coach like that where he'll convince his players to run through a brick wall. Can you run through a brick wall? No. But some coaches are so good, like Nick Saban, at convincing their players they can do it. They're going to try their best ability. They're going to give it 110%. Franklin, he's not that. And nobody's given him more credit than me when it comes to beating up on average, mediocre teams and non-top 25 teams. He's been great at that up until this point. But this one's inexcusable, man. This ain't even a whoopsie daisy. You didn't slip up. How are you not motivated after losing a home game to Oregon? And Oregon's a great team, but still coming off a loss, you can't get your guys ready to go? Not even ready for the onside kick. Don't even get me started on that. That was the most obvious onside kick situation of all time. UCLA has an interim head coach at 0-4. They have nothing to lose. They have an awful defense. Why? Actually, here's a better question. Why wouldn't you do an onside kick? There's a lot of poorly coached teams, but when it comes to the most poorly coached team over the weekend, it's got to go to Penn State. And I'm not going to sit up here and say James Franklin's trash. That's overreacting, and let's not do all that. He's not a bad head coach. I think he's a good one. He's just not great. There's levels to it. And when the standard at Penn State is a great head coach, when you just have a good one, it's not enough, and they're going to get critiqued and criticized, rightfully so. It's the same thing with Dabo Swinney. I'm not a fan of him. Y'all know this, but it'd be ludicrous and ridiculous for me to sit here and say, oh yeah, Dabo Swinney's trash. He'll know what he's talking about. No, he's a good head coach. He's just not elite or great anymore. He's washed up. But why Dabo the Dinosaur gets away with his antics and whatnot is because he has multiple championships to show for it. So you really can't trash talk him because he'll say, hey, I won championship. Shut up. That's the ultimate argument winner. Franklin has done none of that at all. Then you want to sit up here and talk about, yeah, our guys are tired from the travel, man. We're a little banged up. Get out of here. Get out of here with that BS. Moving along here, though, in this video, it's the main reason we're making it. I stumbled across this tweet, or somebody sent it to me on Twitter, by the way. If you want to interact with us on Twitter, you know what to do. It's the same as the YouTube channel. Feel free to follow, 100% free. Tweet out updates about the channel. We have a good time over there. I thought this was not AI. A parody account. There's a bunch of parody accounts where people act like they're a head coach or act like they're a media site, something like that. I thought this was fake. I'm going to show you the tweet. James Franklin, blue check mark. By the way, some context for people on Twitter. Don't be so gullible. Anybody can get a blue check mark. I thought this was one of those fake accounts that had a similar username. It says, Game Week. This was tweeted out last night, by the way. Let's do this together, in all caps, and go 1-0, comma. Nittany Nation, Northwestern, 3 exclamation points, hashtag, we are. It's got over 3 million views, tweeted out at 7:02 p.m. to be exact. I was praying when I clicked on this and clicked on the profile, it wasn't real. But when you click on the profile, nope, it is real. This is the official account of James Franklin. He tweeted this out. Read it and weep, man, read it and weep. I wound up quote tweeting it because it was that insane to me. And I said what I've been saying in this video. I can't believe this is real. As when I'm speaking, making this video, even when it's uploaded, I still can't believe it's real. James Franklin, what are you thinking? I don't know if he has a PR team or whatnot, or who's advising him, or maybe he just needs some common sense. This is the worst thing you could do. You know what you need to do? Shut your mouth. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, buddy, but Penn State fans, they don't like you. They're not too fond of you. They're not too happy with you right now. The best thing you can do is hide and not say a word. The more you say, the more it's going to look worse for you. You need to talk as little as possible. I don't know if he's trying to win back over the fan base or what his goal is or was with this tweet, but it even pisses me off, and I'm not a Penn State fan. I can only imagine how they feel. They're sitting there going, dude, shut up, you big dummy. Nobody wants to hear this. It's over, dude. It's over. Newsflash, buddy. The season's over. You're not making the playoff. I had so many Chad, Brad, and Thads hit me up on Twitter. Mr. Matt, what if, we only got 2 losses. What if we can somehow, some way beat that team you call it? Shut up, nerd. Don't even ask me that. You're not beating Ohio State. Kids, have you lost your mind? You can't stop Nico Amalivia, who's a really good quarterback, but you can't stop him and I don't even know what you call a supporting cast, the Three Stooges. You can't stop him. What do you think Carnell Tate, Brandon Ennis, Jeremiah Smith, Julian Sand is going to do to you? Let's be for real. And outside of that, it didn't matter if Matt B. Great was playing quarterback for Ohio State in the game. Ohio State's winning. You're not beating Ohio State. Don't even act stupid or ridiculous. Don't even play the hypothetical with me. That pisses me off. You're not beating Ohio State. And when Ohio State beats you, I'm not going to say they're going to clobber you, but whenever they beat you, it's inevitable. Your season's officially over. But since I know they're going to win, I can sit here and say your season's already over. Penn State is in a big crisis, though, and I hope some of the fans are watching this video because I want to explain this to you. This is a bad situation to be in, but, well, you're in it. Let me explain. You are now in the Florida and Billy Napier situation that has been disastrous for the Florida fan base. Why did I say that? Because every single year Billy Napier has his annual "you can't fire me" game. Well, he'll upset Texas. He'll upset a top 15 team. Last year beat Ole Miss. Stuff like that. With James Franklin, so for Florida, actually, let me go back to that. They need to be actively rooting against Billy Napier because he's not SEC material. He's not a great head coach. They need him gone, but Florida can't justify firing him because he gets big-time wins. I know, what's his name? James Franklin doesn't do that, but you need to be actively rooting against him. You are in your Mark Richt era, who was at Georgia years and years ago. And I've said it for years on the channel. Penn State is just the old Georgia of the Big Ten, and maybe even the new Georgia because Georgia can't beat Alabama still. You can't look at the smaller picture, which is this season. For your future, you need to be rooting for Ohio State to not just beat you by 7, but to crush you by 30 and some other games. I haven't looked at Penn State's schedule. You know what? Why don't we pull it up? Let's pull it up. Because who else could crush Penn State? Do they play Illinois or another? Do they play Indiana? Let's pull that one up. Hold on. All right, got it right here. Got Northwestern, trash. Iowa, trash. Okay, so you got Little Bro State and Indiana back-to-back. See, if you lose to Ohio State but beat Indiana, it's probably going to keep its job. It's going to retain it. You need to be rooting for Ohio State and Indiana if you're a Penn State fan. Trust me, you'll thank me later. Then you got Michigan State, Nebraska, and Rutgers. That's what I'm talking about. If he loses to Ohio State, beats Indiana, goes 9-3, they're probably not going to fire him, which is good for me because I'll get to continue to hate on him and never have to worry about Penn State when it comes to the big boys in college football. But it's bad for the fan base, and I genuinely feel bad for them. You know how demoralizing it is to have a team that's fluctuating around the playoff, but you can't beat Ohio State, Oregon, Michigan, the big boys? Extremely frustrating. I'd rather go 1-11 every single year. That way I don't get my hopes up. There's many more things I could say. We'll end it off here, make it a short video. I just can't believe James Franklin, of all things, is tweeting after that game. Shaking my head. Let me know your thoughts down below. But